Listen, loan officers and realtors alike, Oaktree Funding has the most remarkable line of non-QM loans you can imagine. Just keep in mind, when you're working with non-QM companies, you're putting more tools in your toolbox and you're building a bigger and better business. Oaktree's account reps, they'll sit down and talk with you, build marketing plans, and show you exactly how to take advantage of their one-of-a-kind mortgage programs. Don't miss this. Please don't, for your sake. All you have to do is click this banner right down below or right over there. All right, loan officers. Oh, yes, remember that next week it starts your new refinance boom. Yeah, it does. Why? Well, on June 5th, Fannie Mae is rolling out their low income refinance program to help those most in need of saving money, save money during the COVID pandemic. Now, I've got to say, this is kind of funny. We had 3 vaccines developed and rolled out to the entire country, with nearly 70% of the nation with at least partial vaccinations, before we could change a couple of guidelines, both in response to the coronavirus. Coronavirus! So here's the question. Think about this. What can be accomplished faster? Start with no idea what the coronavirus is, then decode its DNA, troubleshoot possible weaknesses, test them rigorously in labs and on rats and rabbits. Then we'll need to do 3 international blind tests that all have to come back positive in order to then get FDA approval to manufacture hundreds of millions of doses, set up vaccine sites from drugstores to stadiums all across the country, or increase the debt to income ratios and offer reimbursements for appraisals for low to moderate income borrowers. Both of these things done in response to the coronavirus. Which one do you think happened faster? Here's a hint. On June 5th, we're rolling out the mortgage part of it.
We bring this up because on June 5th, Fannie Mae and FHFA are rolling out the response for low-income borrowers suffering from COVID, which according to Savannah Guthrie, this thing's over. Way to miss the mark, but better late than never. So here's how it goes.
Hoda Kotb said this thing is over. Hoda knows everything on Channel 3, doesn't she? All right, here's how the whole program goes. First, you've got to lower the payment of your borrower by at least $50. Now, if you're doing a refinance and you're only saving somebody $50 on a rate and term refinance, I think you should lose your license for that. But Fannie inextricably is okay with only lowering a payment by $50.
Also, a max DTI of 65, which on low income borrowers, no lenders are gonna fund. I mean, doesn't seem like it, especially with a DTI that high. The risk of default, I think it would be too much, but you know what? Looks good on paper.
Your income has to be below 80% of the median area.
Payment history, 6 months, has to be clean, 1 late, okay for the past 12 months.
And the homeowner has to have at least 3% equity, which is easy enough right now, and a 620 credit score.
Okay, now if we start dealing with margin compression, as some industry leaders are beginning to talk about, there might be a few lenders to dip their toes in this pool. But with 2021 set to still be the 3rd highest year for loans funded, I think you'll find mortgage companies looking to cleaner, safer loans with folks that are not low income, and thus probably, statistically speaking, have better job security.
Frank, a 65% DTI on a low-income borrower? That's ridiculous.
With a 620 at 97 LTV?
Yeah, with a 620 credit score at 97 LTV. No one's gonna wanna write that loan. It screams buyback. Now, before you get mad at us, we're not saying that this is right to not fund these deals. We are saying that we think this is what's going to happen. If I can fund 1 loan and I have a choice of virtually no risk or perceived very high risk, I'm going to write the no risk loan every single time. Truthfully, I'm going to avoid high-risk loans at all costs, even if it means not writing loans at all, because no loans are better than future foreclosures and having my company's originations audited under a microscope by the CFPB. Just saying.
Yeah, but hold on a second, Brian. See, here's one thing that could happen. I can see in some urban settings that have higher populations of minorities that fall in the low-income range. And if lenders avoid writing these loans, but these demographics are part of their business range, I can see a case for ECOA violations regardless of your reasoning for not writing those loans.
For example, a lender might think exclusively low income, high ratios, high LTV, suspect job security. I'm not writing that loan, it's too risky. And that's a fairly reasonable conclusion to come up with. But a federal regulator might look at the same thing and say, not writing loans to underserved groups, this is an ECOA violation, and because of the industry's view with respect to disparate impact, where a lender's outcome and not his intent appears to be discriminatory in nature, your mortgage company now just got busted for not writing these loans. And for a lender, a couple of buybacks is probably cheaper than charges brought against your mortgage company for violations of the Equal Credit Opportunity Act and the Fair Housing Act. Yikes.
So like it or not, this whole thing is gonna get thrown in your lap next week. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And maybe, come to think of it, maybe that vaccine rollout was a bit easier than this new FHFA and GSE COVID response refinance program. Only time will tell.
Hey guys, let us know in the comments down below how your company is going to approach this, or if it's your company, how are you going to approach this? Are you going to try to avoid some of these loans right enough just to run underneath the radar of any type of regulators out there, or are you going to embrace it wholeheartedly? I'd be curious to find out. Remember, if you send us a message, E stands for evidence. So if you're going to do it, make sure you say you're going to write them. Have a great day. Forward this thing, push it, share it, and all that great stuff. Subscribe if you haven't seen us, because like it or not, we're coming back tomorrow, and it will be even a better show, so don't miss it.